Okay, so thank you everybody for joining today. We've got Deepak Chopra lined up today for our first session on the GSE 101 track. And really, we're going to be understanding a bit more about how generative AI works because it's something we're seeing evolving around us all the time at the moment. If you have any questions during the session, then please feel free to put it in the chat or unmute yourselves and ask the question at the time. And before I hand over to Deepak, just a final reminder, if you can please complete the feedback form at the end of the session. I will put a link in the chat in a few minutes. And then we'd appreciate your feedback and any areas for improvement or what you observed today, what you learned today. That would be good to hear back from you. So with that, Deepak, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Atul. Really appreciate it. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this session, and this is a great opportunity for me to talk about generative AI impact all of us in a positive way, really. So feel free to interrupt me, ask questions so that I know that what I'm talking is making sense, really. And I would love to hear your feedback. So please feel free. Atul, just and are you going to keep looking at the chat? And if you have any questions, please just let me know. If you don't mind.
I will do.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so before I started, maybe let me quickly introduce myself. As you can see, my name is Deepak Chopra. Unfortunately, not Deepak Chopra from the States, who makes much more money using my name. It's other, so just kidding. But his books are just amazing, and it's a real guru. I started my IT journey. Don't look at my black hair; those are mostly the color. But I started in 1999. That was my first job with a product-based company. And then I spent almost 17, 18 years with IBM. And since last 2.5 years, I'm part of BMC, and I'm managing a couple of DevX products, which are helping our customers and their developers in their journey. So that's what I do in day-to-day life. Here is my QR code on LinkedIn, which will also be there in the presentation, which we'll be posting. So you can connect with me. We can share some thoughts, even outside this conference. And again, really, really thankful for all of you hearing me on this very important topic. So what we are going to discuss or share today is how do we revolutionize customer experience using generative AI for something like more of a customer-first software solution. Now, before I dive into it, just wanted to set expectation and think from all of your point of view, right? What really is generative AI from your point of view? If anybody would like to unmute or put your comments in the chat, please feel free. Because I was looking at a cartoon which was so funny, an employer asking an employee or who is giving an interview saying that, are you worried about generative AI at all? And the employee is, I'm not worried about generative AI. I'm worried about the impact on the intelligence which it is going to have on the human, right? It is, I know it is a funny cartoon, but it is so important that how the intelligence which until now we as a human are having, how we are using a technology to bring that power into our software solutions with that, right? So we'll talk about it. And as I said, if you want to ask any questions or have any thought process, please stop me. Okay, so what is all this Gen AI? It's all doing good, right? Why do we even need it? This is so important to understand. Why do we need AI? Why do we need a Gen AI when we're going one step ahead, right? So just to give you some perspective about the current solutions what we have, whether we like it or not, our experienced folks are getting retired. We are so much dependent on the documentation. It takes tons of time to scale up, scale down if we don't depend on uh, the technology and especially the AI, right? The cost pressure is just immense, really, right? And then if you want to analyze the data, think about if it human does it, what it will take. It will take like ages to do it. So these are just some of the examples why we really need a Gen AI, and we all can say, okay, so what? So that's what we'll try to answer, and we'll try to discuss in this forum. And I see a chat, so which is from Neil. If there's anything, please feel free. Okay. Okay, so I know the picture on the right is very small, but maybe we can read it once we have uploaded this presentation, which is already there on the website. But overall, in a nutshell, really, it is basically a model which is learning the patterns, the structure of the input training data, and then it generates a new data that has a similar characteristics, really. So it can have a text, it can have images, it can have videos, etc., etc. You can all do it using this. You just need to feed in some sample data, and then you'll get an output based on a similar characteristic. Now I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm a new insurance company, right? And I want to check whether I want to give insurance cover to Deepak, right? Now Deepak has some certain characteristics which I have, but again, I don't know whether that characteristic has some complications in the future, etc., some medical history, or it may turn up with based on the, and we do a health checkup, etc., right? So when I go here in India to buy any insurance, what they check? They'll do my health checkup. They'll have those parameters available. They'll have certain other data available. Now, based on that data, they want to predict whether it is going to be a costly affair for the insurance company, or they are going to make a money on the characteristics based on us or based on me. So that is what is, if you use the data and based on that you generate the patterns with the similar characteristics, you will figure it out that whether this is going to be a fair or not. Now you can always come back on the business proposals. Oh, is it really happening behind the scene, etc., etc. Everybody's business model is different. Maybe they'll charge you more if they feel that based on the certain conditions, they may have to pay, their insurance cover may go up. We all know that this happens. So this is just an example, but of a Gen AI. Now, again, images or videos as well. I was working on one of the video, and where my boss came to me saying that I need that videos to be done in 2 days, right? Now, if I go and ask my video editor to prepare it, there's no way I'm going to get that one, because that's going to be in a conference and it has to be very professional. What I did, I used a website which is basically using a Gen AI to generate the content for me with the content in terms of what is a voiceover, that I'll give it to that content. And then it has really created a wonderful video. So these were some of the examples I thought I'll share it with you, that how beneficial it is from the Gen AI point of view. Okay, I'm moving on. Now, I wanted to start with some of the capabilities which AI would have, right? Uh, it can have be answering product users queries. It can compile the data. It can increase the productivities of the employee. You have less time on doing the monotonous job and more time to do a better work there, right? It is learning continuously. So that is also good. The more feature you add, you want to make sure that it is continuously learning from that. Also, imagine I have, let's say, 200 customers. Their problem statements are different. I will add another 50. Their environment is different. Their use case may be a different. In order for a customer support to continuously supporting them, they need to make sure that the model, the product, what they are using to answer the query, it is learning from the issues which customer is support providing or from their environment. All that it can be done through the AI assistance. And obviously, we can execute the repeatable jobs, etc., right? So that's some of the capabilities which AI assistants would have. From Gen AI point of view, it is basically, you can call it is an expert in a box itself when we have these capabilities. Now, what it does, it reduces your MTTR. Now, in case you don't know what is MTTR, it's mean time to resolution. How quickly we resolve the customer issue, right? Very quickly, it can search the contact, less manual error, really nothing basically, because it's a product, it's a tool, right? It's provide the recommendation. I was telling you in the previous slide. It provides the recommendation based on the historical data. So it is continuously learning and providing the update, and it is fast and reliable. So that is some of the benefits you get when you use this technology. Now, I started this one saying that how all these capabilities are going to empower the customer. Because what we are talking about, a customer first solution. They are the one who should get benefited, right? Now, you can read this entire slide. I'm not going to read through. But some of the things which are very, very important are self-solution. You don't have to call the customer care. You just go think about a solution. We all go to nowadays bank website. There's a chat bot. Even most of the time, I don't even log into a website. I go to my app. There's a chat available. I ask my questions. If not 99%, at least 80% of the time, I have answer to my queries. I don't need to call anybody. I don't need to log into any website. I just go to website. Sorry, I just go to app and I get the answers. It is based on the prediction, right? It can automate the remediation. Think about a situation. Now let me tell you based on, let's say, a storage, right? Now storage, based on the historical data, I need, let's say, another 20 terabyte worth of data to take care of my storage requirement, right? I don't want to wait until end of the time when the storage is gone and my customers are impacted. So what AI would do based on the prediction, where it will know that I need 20 terabyte of data, let's say every couple of weeks, right? So what it will do is before the end of that week, maybe 2-3 days beforehand, based on the prediction, it will be automatically adding that storage space so that we don't have to get into a situation where we need to call somebody to add the storage, right? So that's another very, very important point. It is based on the knowledge which it is acquiring. right? It is flexible, it is scalable, right? And then it is also takes an informed decision based on the data which we all have, right? And then it is not giving you a recommendation, just anything else. It is based on the in-depth analysis which it does. And what it's do is it creates an AI-powered customer relationship management. So you have all the data and the recommendation based on that. Okay. Do we have any comments or questions from anybody before I go on?
Nothing in the chat at the moment.
Okay. Thank you, Atul. Anybody would like to ask any questions? Okay. And just have a quick sip of water before I move on. Okay. So moving on. A second. Okay. Now, you must be having so many folks here or watching this video. We can all say, oh, we are talking about customers, really. But what it is in for the development folks, right? Who does the development? What is in it for it? I am combining my customers with their developers. So here, when we talk about customers, they can be my IT customers as well, who has a development team who is continuously doing a development, and they would like to have the capabilities so that they can go to market fast, right? So what they can do here is they can have an AI-based tailor-fit automated recommendation, right? What do you need to do at a certain time in order to fix an issue? It can also give you a dashboard which can show you where is my pipelines. Are they really up and running? And what is the progress? Where it is stuck? Do we need to do anything? Sometimes it can remediate the things as well pretty quickly, right? So that's another capabilities which AI can have. It enhances the development capabilities. So it can give you a recommendation based on whether your code is wrong or it will take more time to execute, etc., etc. And then it also gives you end-to-end DevOps capabilities, right? You can have a fully automated AI-enabled pipeline, and then DevOps can take a decision. So take example, I have developed a code, and now that code needs to go and needs to be deployed. So what do we do? When it's an AI-enabled pipeline, it will check whether after the code is deployed, when the code has been merged, is it merged fine? Did we do the basic test, which is automated? Is it passed? If it is passed, then we go to the next environment. We do one more round of automated testing, and based on that, it will take a decision and move to the next level or next environment. Okay, so this is how we can enhance the development and DevOps capabilities, and it can help customers in their development as well. Now we have heard a lot about Generative. What do I do with that, right? What is the potential? What it does for me? It can have a predictive customer service. It gives you a personalized recommendation, right? Let's say I have bought T-shirt with a specific size, right? Next time when I go to that website or any other website. Some nowadays, even some websites are tracking data, definitely based on your approvals, right? It gives you a personalized recommendation. Okay, last time you have bought this type of T-shirt, uh, maybe you would like to try this now. This is the size, etc., etc., etc. Or you are buying. So, like yesterday, I was buying. I just went to a website and I was trying to buy a chimney for my kitchen. Now, the moment I said I've decided a chimney, you know what next I got? Okay, for this chimney, these are the options for hobs. Do you want to try out that? Right? So all these recommendations you can potentially use with the help of Gen AI. It can really help us doing advanced analytics. Think about a scenario, especially in the medical fields, the kind of analytics it is being done, especially we all have been part of last couple of years COVID scenario. I can tell you for sure that in the medical field, it has helped. It developed so many vaccines using the AI and the Gen AI analytics. And it gives you a decision or based on data. So you are taking a decision based on the data in very small time frame rather than spending tons of time in analyzing the data. Okay, you have omni-channel experience and then obviously natural language processing. I can talk, I can write, and it will process the language and it will give the answer accordingly. Okay, so we talked a lot about Gen AI, its use case, what it can benefit, etc., etc. Now here is this chart, which is showing a various benefits of using Gen AI, right? It is not old, it's hardly last year data. And this is available on a publicly available website done by Capgemini. And as you can see, I'm not going to again read through each and every line here, but if you can see what is the share of organizations stating various benefits of using Gen AI in marketing, right? It's just one area. Few of them are saying it is helping in long-term brand building. Some of them are saying it's an innovation in the new channels, right? Improvement in the customer support and product service content creation. So many things we can do with that, and organizations are getting benefited out of it. So have a look into it. These are some of the examples, but it can definitely bring more and more use cases here. More than 66% of it are saying that even it is helping them reduction in the marketing cost, improvement in the quality of content, and whatnot, really. Now we looked at the data, right? Here are some of the experts, what they say about a Gen AI, right? We talked a lot about the data. So as per McKinsey, it's in estimating that incorporating Gen AI into customer care functions can increase the productivity from 30 to 45%. So that is the potential of infusing Gen AI in the customer care function. Okay. Another customer support company with more than 5,000 service agents said that they were able to resolve issues 14% faster and reduce the time to handle the issues by 9%. So folks, remember we were talking about MTTR. This is what it is, really. They were able to handle the issues, reduce the time to handle the issues by 9%, and they have resolved the issue 14 times faster. Now, What does it mean? Customer was able to use their product 14% faster time. So if their downtime, you can assume, was 100 minutes, it was reduced to 84. And to whom it is helping? It is helping the organization, it is helping the customers, and it is helping the end user. Also, it is reducing the time and effort which IT is putting to track. And last but not the least, it is helping in the customer net promoter score survey, right? Customer is more loyal to you because we are able to resolve their issues in much faster way, sometimes even before they know. I can tell you in my own organization, 99% of the issues are resolved before even come to us. That is the power of AI we can think of. Okay, so I know we are kind of 28 minutes, and I was hoping we will get more questions around it, but I'll keep it on the end. Some of the key takeaways I would like to call out here using the Gen AI. Whether we like it or not, the fact is it is shaping our today and tomorrow. And I can tell you for sure, in most of the cases, it is positive, it is helpful to all of us, to our community, to our society, to our customers, to everyone. And it is not going to stop. It will continue to enhance and it will continue to shape our tomorrow and today, right? So we really need to make sure that we understand what is Gen AI, how it is helpful, and we go with it. So that is the first one. It is very, very important that the way it is enhancing the customer experience by making it more personalized and emotionally attuned. Obviously, it is efficient as well, right? As I said, when we all go to a website, we go to a app, the experience we are getting using AI is just amazing. And we really need to make sure that we are utilizing it for the benefit of the society. It gives a very highly personalized customer experience. It creates a customized content, and it is also interacting based on the individual preference and the behavior. So this is very, very important. I feel like going to those websites, going to those apps where I get the personalized benefit. If my movie app knows that every time when I go there, I need a chocolate flavored popcorn along with a seat, which is not literally on the corner of a theater. It's middle, probably that is my preference. And sometimes I would like to have a recliner as well. Those options I always prefer. So why do I need to go and check each and every option all the time? It saves my time. It saves the time to complete the interaction, and it saves also the IT cost because I complete it pretty quickly, right? I'll give you an example here. So I was working for a customer who is into airline. Now, what is happening is their booking were mainly happening through their website and their call center. But it was very, very less in your mobile. channel, and they were struggling to find out what is happening. And then we started doing a survey. What we realized is the app, what they have is, it takes at least 4 screens to go from where you start searching the ticket until you complete the booking. And sometimes it breaks in one place to another, and then customer is frustrated and they don't use the app, right? When we started talking to customers, we figured it out that they are looking for an app which will give them all the required fields in one page, so that they don't have to spend too much time going next to next to next, and in between it is broken for some reason, they again need to start from scratch. We have built another app using a better customer experience, which gives them an information based on their earlier booking details, more personalized experience, and they were able to make the entire end-to-end booking, starting from search until a payment, in one page. You know what happened? The increase through mobile channel, the booking to a mobile channel increased by almost 130%. Their calls to call center reduced by more than 40%, and it has helped them in more, both on the top side and the bottom, right? So that is the beauty of the Gen AI and how it can help any organization achieving their goals and give the best customer experience, right? Now this is, again, we can continue to have enhance the user experience I was only talking about. And then it is also helps them, like, as I said, transforming the customer experience by predicting their needs and behavior, so that they do not have to do this again, right? So these were some of the key takeaways. I thought I listed down here and share with all of you. Some of the journey are really nice, so I thought I'll give you some of the examples. So that's what me today. I know I thought I'll probably take about 45 minutes to complete it, but I wanted to give you a gist of it today rather than going through slides. This is really nice experience from my side to share my experience. And now I'll open up for any Q&A if you have. On the right bottom, it's my LinkedIn link. If you want to connect with me LinkedIn, please feel free. I would love to connect with all of you and take this journey forward. Thank you so much.
Deepak, thank you so much. I think it's really kind of a giant topic, really, for all of us to consider the pros and cons. We do have a question from Niall. Niall, you want to unmute and ask the question directly?
Yeah, so I found, and this is not me picking, but I found, especially with Amazon, for example, their customer service team is almost non-existent now. So if I have an issue, let's say I order something and it isn't delivered, so they've got 5 products, but I ordered 6. So where's the missing 6th product? They have a chatbot that just doesn't quite understand what I'm asking. Maybe it's my fault for asking it in a given way rather than in a different way, but because their chatbot doesn't recognize my requests, it can't really understand those human quirks, those human sort of behaviors. Ultimately, because I can't pick up the phone and contact their help desk, their customer service desk, inevitably what I've had to do recently is I've just had to say, the entire delivery wasn't delivered, or I've had to basically blow it out of proportion, because that's the only option I have, which would actually cost Amazon more, because then they have to investigate it, they have to send me all sorts of new stuff. There's if there's a product that's broken, for example, as well, they might just say, well, we'll ship everything again. I don't understand why they're paying for Gen AI, but not also setting a little bit of money aside for human, customer service. Do you think there's a sweet spot? Do you think it should be in an ideal world like 80% Gen AI and then maybe 20% of their sort of allowance goes to human? Because like you said before with the airline, you reduce calls by 40%, but that still means you still have 60% of people making calls. So there's got to be like that sweet spot, hasn't there?
I fully agree. And as I started my presentation, I think I know I said the funny cartoon, really. The intelligence part, whether we like it or not, these bots, these prediction are based on what we are writing. Those prompts, those large language model, are based on the data which we are feeding to them. As long as that data is correct, you are fine. The moment it is, like you said, Niall, probably you are asking a question in a way which is their Gen AI or the chat bot is not trained enough to that part. So there is it has to be a sweet spot for sure, really, in order for these organizations to understand that they cannot replace human with a bot. And again, that's my personal thought process. There may be a few people coming back to me saying that, oh, you have picked up Amazon, we can do everything with the chatbot. But that's a different discussion altogether. I completely agree with you. There has to be a fair balance between the human intelligence and the chatbot or a Gen AI, etc., until the day when we are 100% there. And I do not see that is happening, at least in my lifetime. I may be wrong, but I fully agree with you. And second thought which you said, Niall, is it is costing them more. Yeah. Why do you want to spend more money? Now, I'll add a little bit of additional thought process here, based on my experience. I think what is happening, and I don't want to get into any controversy, but the fact looks like is the people in the countries where they are more educated in terms of using the technology, there the customer support is getting reduced more and more. Where people are not educated using the technology, it is still there. So maybe in UK, like you said, it is virtually impossible for you to get somebody on a call. In India, I had exactly the similar problem. I raised a request for a laptop. They said it will be delivered by end of the day. They did not deliver. It was very, very urgent for my son. And they said they will be delivering by 10 o'clock. He was flying out in 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I called them. I said, sorry, I tried to call them because it was showing in delivery, in transit. So I tried to call them and they were always, oh, do you want queries related to this product? I said, yes. What is the problem? It is in transit. It is not delivered. Nobody is able to understand. Finally, I had to say, I received a broken product. And then somebody called me back and saying that, oh, but it's showing in transit. I said, that's exactly my point. You said 10 o'clock. It is 11 o'clock now. He's leaving. What do I do? And then after 3 days, they have canceled that particular one for me. And still there are an issue, which I can't talk here with that specific transaction, really. So I think I gave you a long answer, Niall, but bottom line, it has to be a fair balance. Yeah. Otherwise, these organizations, rather than having a better customer experience, these kind of customer experience are going to expose the negative side of Gen AI, which I don't think anybody in the technology would like to do that.
I think, like you say, use Gen AI as a crutch. You still have to have the customer service skills and the know-how and the, everything else. If you just become reliant on it, as with anything, if you become reliant on it, you potentially struggle. But yeah, thank you.
Very true, very true. So you could recognize it's still early in its evolution, Gen AI. So we have to go with it as it is now, and then obviously reap the rewards later on. We have another question in the chat from Christoph. When does Gen AI get too personal with the information it holds for one particular customer? Do you have a thought on that?
Let me just go back to the chat just to see that one, so that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, the concern is, can Gen AI be holding too much personal information about individuals?
So again, this is very valid and a genuine question, really, and I think we all as individuals are concerned about it. Now, I will only talk from the technology point of view. See, it is all about us as a consumer and a technology organization to understand what is the information I would really like to store, right? What is needed? I'm sorry. What is needed? What is not needed, really? And we as an individual also have a right to, before clicking that I accept button, read it through, what you are accepting to. And this is nothing new. We all being part of the Amazons of the world, and then so many other websites we can talk about. You go to airline, you go to retail store, you go to anything. The first thing it will say, can I record cookies enabled, right? Cookies is not a new word. Cookies is like there for, if I remember well, at least 15 to 20 years, really. This, when we talk about Gen AI, the moment you say I accept all and don't read what you're accepting for, we are exposing ourselves. In my opinion, even before the Gen AI, when I was going and I was clicking on I accept, I was reading through what I'm accepting. The same thing goes to Gen AI. Before you say yes or I accept all, please read through that. Same thing is true for the technology company as well, who is building. They need to mention very clearly what they are storing, for what purpose, where they are storing, and move on with that. Obviously, if they want to give you a personalized experience, they need to keep your information. But now that is up to us as an individual. Do I need that personalized experience or not? If I need a personalized experience, I'm sorry to say, technology needs that information. But then it's completely up to us what information we want to give it to them and what we don't want to give to them. Maybe I am fine. You keep my t-shirt size. I don't mind, really. But I don't want to keep my blood group information at the same time. I will not give it that information. That is for my medical.
Yeah,
Get that with anybody else.
Good point.
So,
yeah. And I think the regulation around this will evolve as AI
absolutely
evolves as well. So things are changing.
Right.
I have a question for you. In terms of we're at the mainframe conference at the moment. What use cases are you seeing for AI in helping the new generation of mainframers to support and grow the work they do on the mainframe? Are you seeing exciting use cases at the moment?
So, looking at my face, you can probably see that I'm smiling and I'm happy, only because of the fact, Atul, that we all, I'm pretty sure other technology companies as well, we all are looking forward for some amazing use cases, which are cooking, let's put it that way, which will definitely help in so many areas, including mainframe as well. Now, the most exciting part where we all are sometimes worried and sometimes happy as well. Worried, our experienced folks are planning to retire, right? It is, that's the reality, whether we like it or not. Deepak Chopra will be retired in whatever, 5 years, 6 years down the line, right? And the person who is coming and taking over the role which I'll be doing, he or she may not have that experience. There is no way I can have my 25, 30 years of experience, give it to somebody in 2 months or 2 years time frame. what tools we are building is to help this new generation to take a decision in much more efficient way, quick way, learn the technology is easy, and let the technology give them some help that how to do a task without getting into the manuals of the products, etc., or even the language, really. So I think we are seeing some really exciting use cases where we all are going to be benefited, and some of the use cases are already in the market. And I'm really excited to see those use cases. Again, I cannot share some which are in cooking, but some which I see in the market are just really amazing. And I'm so delightful that some of the use cases I myself are building with the help of my team. So it's an amazing journey, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for asking this question, Atul. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and thank you, Niall.
It's interesting. So I do have other questions, but before I go to that, I mean, is there anybody else in the room who wants to unmute and ask questions or provide a comment on what you've heard today? No? Okay. So we still have some time. So if I can ask another question, or really a thought, do you think that AI will kind of stifle kind of creativity and free thought in people? Because nowadays you just ask a question to AI, it'll give you the answer. Do you think it will stifle creativity and self-thought in the new generation?
Okay, this amazing question, Atul, first of all. So thank you for asking. And we get these questions all the time. I'm mentoring some of the interns from a college, and every week I talk to them, and they come back saying, "Oh, I went to ChatGPT and it gave me a code, and I have written this code, and I have used that code, and I'm all good." And then exactly what I think in my mind as well. My God, what's going on? How do they understand? So I asked them this question. This is fine. As long as you are getting it from ChatGPT, I'm good with that, because it is reducing the time to implement that specific feature. Probably if you do yourself, probably it will take 7 days. With ChatGPT, probably it will take 2 days. But did you understand what it has given you? Does that make sense? Can you follow that code? Did you make the changes based on the requirement you had? Right. So it is all depends on the individual, and I very strongly recommend that whoever is using ChatGPT for whatever purpose it can be, it can generate the content, it can generate the code, it can generate the picture. Did I understand what it has generated? Why it has generated? Is it making sense? Did I learn what it did? That's very important. Am I curious about it? The moment my curiosity is gone, my creativity is gone for sure. So that's how I personally feel. There is always few folks who will just copy paste that specific part, and they'll do it, and they will feel, oh, I'm good. Nobody even realized. I can tell you for sure, there are many smart people in the world. They will very easily realize whether it is your creative part came in or that was a copy of a ChatGPT. It doesn't take much of a time. So I would really sincerely recommend whoever is using it, including me, if I'm using it, I should make sure I understood that part. I made the right changes based on my specific need, and then I used it, because that's very important. Last but not the least, just advice. There are some things which are proprietary for your specific organization. don't get into any legal issues because you have used it, ChatGPT. It's very important. Like you already mentioned, Atul,
Yeah.
the regulations around Gen AI, security, etc., is getting tighter and tighter day by day, which is a good thing. I'm really for it. So don't get into a situation where these regulators come and question, because this is not about the individual. It is about the reputation of the organization for which you are working as well. And it can have a very different situations and difficult situation as well. So I would be very, very cautious. But
That's a very good point. So I think all of us probably need to look at our own organizations, and
Right.
there's probably some guidance around
Yes.
how we should be using AI.
Right.
Especially, there are so many external free tools available, and we're feeding data information into it. So we've got to be careful how we use that. So always seek internal guidance, I think, before we start putting data out there onto external systems, really. So very good point. Okay, so maybe a final call. Is there any other questions or comments anybody would like to make? No? Okay. In that case, Deepak, thank you so much for taking time to put together this presentation for us. We've learned a lot. I think it's a good conversation that will carry on in the future as well. I'm sure you'll get lots of connection requests on LinkedIn as well. And I look forward to seeing you again in our next conference as well. It's a topic that's evolving. There'll be new things to learn all the time. So thank you so much. And a final reminder to everybody on the call, please do click on the feedback link and provide feedback on how we can improve these kind of sessions in the future as well. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session.
Thank you so much, Atul, and thank you, Nihal. And thank you, everybody, for being here. It was a pleasure to be part of this. This was my first GSC UK virtual session, so I bit nervous, but the way it went in was really great. And thank you, Atul and Nihal, for the help always. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.